Lovers, the Nine of Cups, and the Nine of Swords. So we have two nines here. Nine of Cups shows you that you can achieve anything that you want, getting your dreams to come true. The Nine of Swords, on the other hand, is a completely different energy of feeling anxiety, sleeplessness, negativity, insomnia, just a lot of anxiety, right? So when you are dating somebody new, we have the Lovers here, right? It's fun until it's not. And that doesn't mean that it always has to be fun. It shouldn't always not be fun. There has to be a balance of the two, especially when you're getting to know another human being, male or female. There's a lot of things that you are testing out, and it shouldn't be in a way where you are playing games, testing somebody out, but you're just taking note of what happens. It's more of an experiment at first when you're first getting to know any human, right? How does this person react in this situation? What do they say about this? Are their words matching their actions? What are their standards? You know, do they say they're not sure what they want? Do they say they know exactly what they want? Are they egotistical? Are they a people pleaser? Do they tip well? Do they treat other people well that aren't doing important things for them? Are they someone that always wants someone else to do all the things for them and they don't give anything back? You know, this is all a test. It's more of a observation, let's call it, of somebody new, right? In order to achieve everything that would make you happy with the Nine of Cups and the Lovers here, you test it out in a way with the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is kind of, you know, it's 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You're testing boundaries. You're making notes of the other person, making sure they do what they say what they do, and how they treat you in return, right? Is it a give and take? Is it just a take, and there's no giving? Are they taking notes about you? Are they treating you in a way where it makes you feel important? Or are they just assuming that you should be okay with giving to them? A good partner, right, as the two lovers are, a good partner wants to see you pleased, right? You both have to be giving to one another. And if you are more of a giver in a sense and you love to do that, you just have to be wary of if you're getting anything reciprocated back to you, right? It can't be a one-way relationship either way. You can't be the one that's always receiving, getting things from people. You get gifts, you get attention. And if you don't get the attention that you want, you just move on. That's a taker. A giver would keep giving and giving and giving and being so naive that he or she doesn't get anything back in return ever, right? And usually a giver gives not to get something back, but you just have to be aware and take note of what's happening here. Does someone show you gratitude when you do things for them? Do they tell you that you're important? Do they show you that you're important in any way? Or do they just assume that you should feel that way already, right? That's two different energies, right? They want to provide for you, right? Someone shouldn't get everything from you for nothing. And again, it's not being petty where you have to write things down and keep it completely accurately even, but you should be observing if the other person remembers things that you tell them. If the other person remembers important dates, maybe it's your birthday, maybe it's a day that's important to you, or they know that's important to you in some kind of way, just to show you that they care, that they're listening to you, and that you're important to them. They take notes. And even if the other person is a forgetful person, You can write things down nowadays, right? You can write it in your phone. You could put it in your calendar right away, even though you might know you're a forgetful person, quote unquote. You might have a lot of things going on, or just might not be that detailed. Maybe you don't hold certain things as important as someone else, but to get to know somebody else, you have to learn what is important to them. So just to have a very surface level showing of that someone else means something to you, you just take notes down, either mentally, if you can remember it, or just put it in your calendar to show the other person that you're listening, that you care, and that they're important. It's not that hard, okay? Someone shouldn't be getting everything for nothing. Someone shouldn't be getting all of you for nothing, all of what you give, all of what you want to give. You know, if they don't reciprocate that in any way, at some point you have to learn to observe what's in front of your face and not what you want to happen, right? Because if you continuously give to a taker and the taker never gives back to you or shows you any sort of importance back to you in any way, you have to learn to just, you know, carefully let go. You know, it doesn't mean that you have to do anything drastic, but it does mean that you might not be on the same page as somebody, right? And this is all about finding somebody new, finding out if they're going to give you what you're looking for, the Nine of Cups, instead of staying in an energy of anxiety with the Nine of Swords. You know, there might be breadcrumbing involved. There might be hesitations on both ends. You never really know what the other person is thinking or doing until they tell you or they show you. So if someone isn't showing you that you're important to them, if someone isn't telling you that they're important to them, and it's not just one time, because anyone could say something flippantly. A player can tell you flippantly that he wants you around, but never does anything about it, never tells you that you're important, never remembers important days to you. Doesn't follow up on things, you know. If a man likes you, he does things for you. And if a woman likes you, she does things for you, okay? And again, it's not about giving something to get something in return, because that's manipulation, but it's about having the right person in your life. They don't just take from you. They don't drain all of your resources. They don't drain your love. They don't drain your finances. They don't drain your health, your mental capacity, what you do for them, right? They add to your life, right? The right person will add things to your life because they want to be there, because they want to remember important things, because you are important to them. They remember things about you on purpose, right? There's ways to remember things. And someone that truly cares, someone that wants to show you that you're important to them, they will continuously do little things. And it's the little things. It's not big grandiose things where they buy you 24 roses and teddy bears and takes you out on these, you know, these dinners. And if that's capable and they like to do that because that's how they show love truly, then great. But it's about little things like, oh, I remembered it's your birthday. You're important to me. Happy birthday. Oh, you were having a big test today. How did it go? You know, if someone has to continuously feel like they're proving themselves to another person, if you feel like you have to continuously prove to the other person that you're there, that you're important, you know, and you're not getting any reciprocation back, just consider it a small red flag. It doesn't mean that you have to completely abandon a relationship, but if you're freshly dating someone, just remember that it's a give and a take, okay? And there's small ways that you can always remind the other person that they're important to you. It could be a good morning or a good night text. It could be a very long love letter if they like to do that. It could be sharing a meal together, cooking together, giving them a coffee, remembering what they like you know, like to eat, remembering what they wear. Do they wear silver jewelry? Do they wear gold jewelry? Do they like this or that? You know, you start to remember little details about someone when you're really into them, right? A player kind of energy, male or female, won't remember these details because it doesn't matter to them. They'll remember the the gist of what you're saying. They'll remember little things to get their ways from you, right? If they're trying to use you in some sort of way and they don't treat you as an important person in their lives that they cherish, they'll only remember things that will benefit them. But in the long run, they won't remember all the conversations that you had. They won't remember all the things they told you, right? And certain people are more apt to remember every little word that that you both said to each other, sure. But if someone is highly attuned to you and they care about you and they want you in their lives and they want to show you that you are important to them, they cherish you, they want more of you, they want to know more of you, and they continuously keep learning more about you on their terms, they're showing you interest. It doesn't take much to show somebody real interest. A real player can just say, yeah, you're cute, I like you, I want you around. But what else? Is there any other depth to what they're showing you? Are they really giving you the full story here, right? That's the kind of energy that I'm getting here when it comes to dating. It's not about being drastic in your response, but you should remember that it's an equal balance. Maybe you pour all of your water into them and then you just see if they ever pour back into you. Do they remember things that you tell them? Do they respond to your emotions? So we have the Six of Pentacles, right? It's about charity and giving. Do they want to give to you in any way? And giving can mean not just material things, okay? That's the obvious, but giving their emotions, giving their attention to you. That's free, right? Remembering certain things, saying certain things that you truly mean if you are being genuine is free. Love is free. It doesn't have to be buying expensive gifts for somebody. You don't have to be doing these grandiose things for one another. If you're trying to be, if you're attracted to one another, you don't have to dress up to the nines every time you see them to get their attention. Sometimes just being normal, sometimes just living a normal everyday life together can show one another who you actually are. And that's more impressive in the long run if you show them your actual self. So again, it is nice if, a man likes a woman that dresses up for him, gets all sexy for him, wears heels or, nice underwear or whatever it is. But does he still enjoy your company when you're not like that? Does he still show you attraction when you're not dressed in a mini skirt or showing yourself provocatively? If you're looking for an emperor type, someone that is mature in love, we have the Queen of Wands here, which is all about fiery passion too. So we have the Lovers, the Queen of Wands, and the Emperor. It's like it goes beyond surface level things. Like I said, when you're just dating somebody, attraction can run wildly through both of your hearts. But is it just attraction? Is he showing you, or is she showing you anything else besides just sexual energy? Okay? Do they remember things that you say that are important? Because the little things, when someone remembers certain things, like it could be anything little, any little detail, the details show interest. Okay? Even if someone forgets your birthday or something like that, it does not necessarily mean that they don't find it important. But just keep it in mind if it continues to happen, where they continuously brush off things that might be important to you, or to show you any interest beyond the bedroom. That person is showing you interest in an emotional, mental way. Okay? So if you're trying to vet someone that you're dating, it's fun to do fun things, and it's fun to have these fiery moments. It's fun to flirt, it's fun, and all this stuff. But sometimes, in order to grow into, or to know if someone wants to grow with you, to have happiness for a longer period of time than just a night, it goes beyond that. And it's about remembering who this person is and constantly learning Well, we're never going to learn another human being fully. We never really fully learn ourselves fully. It's an ongoing process throughout our entire lives, right? We always are growing ourselves. We're always changing. We're always progressing, hopefully. And we're always learning and experiencing new things that might change our minds during our lives. Same with the other person. So if you're trying to get to know someone and show them that you actually care, even if you forget their birthday, you should probably mention that you forgot it and that you might feel embarrassed over it. That shows that you at least have the emotional capacity to admit that you forgot, but they're still important to you. So it's not about always remembering, but it's showing the intention behind the little details, right? The 10 of Wands and the 10 of Pentacles pop out together, which is interesting. It really is the deciding factor of whether or not you feel anxiety and overburdened by constantly giving, or constantly having the anxiety of being like, are they ever going to remember anything about me more than, I don't know, my curves? Or are they going to remember anything more about me than, the time that we spent together, intimately, or whatever it is? Are they going to invest in me emotionally? Right? Are they actually going to make me happy? Right? So it's not to pull away all of your love and attention towards someone, but you have to gauge every step of the way with someone. It could be flipped. It could be the 10 of Pentacles, or it could be the 10 of Wands. And it really comes down to gauging every step when you go towards somebody new. We have the 2 of Pentacles, which also shows you decision making. You have to decide each step of the way if it's still working. Because one person that complains if he doesn't get enough attention, he's just going to go somewhere else, isn't that a threat? Isn't that more of a threat than anything else? We all want attention. We all want to feel loved and appreciated and heard and thought of. But if he doesn't give it back to you, and he just expects you to give him all the attention without anything back, right? That's a little bit of a red flag. It's a little bit of a, if I don't get what I want, I'm just going to move on to the next person. Instead of being like, if I don't get time and attention from someone, I'm going to move on to the next person, but I am giving you time and attention back, and I'm not receiving it back. There's a difference that you could see here. Is it reciprocated, or is it just one-sided? And these are the things that you have to determine when you're dating somebody new. Is every single step is a process. Every single step is a lesson to show you if the other person has the same intentions as you. Because again, someone could tell you that their intentions are good-natured, but then they don't have actions that really follow up on their words. It's really easy to lie. It's really easy to dangle a carrot in front of someone that is never going to, they're never going to get that carrot. They can say that they're a good person. They could say that they want something real, or that they don't want surface level bullshit, or whatever it is that they tell you. But are they doing those things too? Or are they just expecting you to be that way when they can just, kind of mess around, do whatever they want, and just expect you to be the good guy or the good girl? The Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands. If you want to have that balance of being attracted and also safe with someone, right, with the Lovers and the Emperor, you have to decide, you have to give someone grace to make mistakes, because it's a learning curve when you meet someone new, any kind of human being. It takes a long time to get to know all of their issues, all of their faults, all the things that they're good at, all the things that might be less attractive, right? It's an ongoing process, and we can't judge one another for not being perfect for ourselves right away, because in order to grow in a relationship, it's a little bit of a bumpy ride to take off, because you have to get to know the strengths, that someone else has, or where they're lacking. So you have to give someone grace to make mistakes, but at the same time, don't be so foolish in giving away yourself so fast if you're not getting anything back in return.